Hey, what's up, guys? So I just finished this installation on this 2014 BMW 328i. I'm just trying to cover up the license plate real quick. Anyways, there we go. So we ended up doing the LED conversion. We took out the factory halogen bulbs that were in here. You can see the yellow diodes on both sides, right there and then right there. And then the customer chose not to upgrade the high beam, the DRL light, and then also the parking light. So, and then the fog light. So she only went with the uh, with the low beam. Of course, that's gonna like be different. When she sees the low beam LED, she's maybe gonna want to do the rest of them. We ended up doing the excuse me, we ended up doing our T2 line from our LED supplier. These are going to probably show up in going like clones pretty soon. But anyways, we're one of the first ones to be able to get these, so we're trying them out for these European cars. They're very easy to work with. The installation wasn't too difficult. It's just underneath the wheel well. You just have to jack the car up. I'll go ahead and turn it on for you guys. Here is the low beams, and then there's a fog light. So you can see the difference between the LED low beams and then the halogen fog light. You do get a bit of a glare right there, but it's much more intense with the low beam. Obviously, that's because of the shape or the focus of the lens. We'll go ahead and turn off the fog light, and then we're getting at about, I would say this is 25 feet from the wall right here. So I'm assuming that from there to there, this must be like another maybe 2 or 3 feet, maybe at 4 feet tops. I can't think it would be 20 feet. But anyways, we're right between 20 to 25 feet against the wall. So we have a reading here of about 1,300 luxes at about, like I said, 20 feet. That's for that side. And then the passenger side. Let's see here. See if we can get a higher number. We're about 1,000 luxes at the hottest spot. So ultimately, obviously, like the lights look really good when you're standing in front of them. This is what we care about the most: is how is it going to look like on the road. So you're able to get a nice distinctive cutoff line. So no light over here, and then light down here. Obviously, that's going to allow, say for instance, if you were a driver standing right here on the other side of the road driving this way, you'd probably get no glare from this light until maybe at about right here. At this point, that's about as low as my knee, so you would have to have like a car really slammed to get glare from the oncoming drivers. There's nothing we can do about the incline or the decline in the road or the bumps. Yes, when you hit bumps, the beams might be adjusted forward, but these are aligned perfectly, so you're not going to be giving up any glare to any drivers, like I said. And then basically this T2 model is just one notch below the F2 model that we carry, which has its own driver. I obviously have a little bit more of an eye for the LED lights, the current and the stability of it. Um, Really close over here, you don't really, you get a constant burn right now because the car is not on. But once the car is on, you actually end up getting a little bit of a hesitant, like, pulsating of the LED. And like I said, it's not noticeable where you're gonna get pulled over or you're even gonna notice it. But like obviously for myself included, I notice little things like that. The fog light, they should do it in LED as well too. We're trying to get actually a very very strong 3K, and this is what it looks like from the inside. Got the low beam right there focused in, and then I got the high beam. The high beam is maybe a little bit more brighter than the low beam itself, but that's only because it's pointing higher. So go ahead and turn off the car. We're done with the demonstration. Basically, here it has a parking lamp malfunction. I don't know if it's for the rear or for the fronts, but I didn't see the parking light malfunction on there. Try to check it out. So the parking lamps are on right now. We're gonna go see if there is in fact a fault, but there isn't. That's just BMW sometimes for you. We'll leave them on auto. On startup, if I take them back to off, it will get like that right there. And then that goes away within about, let's see here how long it goes away. Again, we're testing out these lights. These are new ones. It probably went away after about 5 seconds. Not a big deal. Now we're not getting no parking lamp malfunction. Um, we'll go back to the automatic. There they go. And then turn them off. Turn them back on. So that looks really good. We got a low tire. I'll probably put some tire for this customer. But yeah, the installation took maybe no less than an hour. It's a little bit more difficult if you don't have the proper tools. So if you just, all I used was a jack, and then a flashlight, and then one very long flathead. Everything else was basically plug and play. You do have to run resistors in order to avoid getting air light or having them turn off on you. I did use the Morimoto high heavy duty LED resistors, were the ones that are cool to the touch or cooler to the touch, and I was able to get those to go inside the headlight without it actually compromising anything in the headlight. The pocket or the cavity where the LED bulb went in was very big, so I was able to get that resistor in there without having to drill a hole in the cap and without having to do any permanent modifications to the customer's vehicle. Because come trade-in time, if you know the dealership opens up the hood and sees that the back of the headlight has these like ugly HID wires coming out, or it has a drilled hole in the cap, or if it has like pigtails of resistors or taped up jobs, it actually does really ding you on the trade-in, and sometimes they won't even take them because of the fact that they're modified and they want you to go back to stock. So when doing an LED conversion for yourself, obviously keep in mind that if you do anything permanent, it's permanent. And then sometimes you do have to reach out to professionals to be able to go and let you know which route you should go without having to do any damage to your vehicle. But yeah, I'm really happy with these LEDs. The light output was fantastic. Um, they look really good. The cutoff I'm able to get, you can't see too much on the camera, but you get that straight line and get that up. Sometimes when you get these generic LEDs from like eBay or Amazon, like a $30 or $40 LED kit, they're not interested in basically this light output here and interested in selling you the top-notch things. They're interested more so selling cheap bulbs uh, at large quantities of it. I have to take a little bit of more time to do it because obviously I want our products to stand out over the competitions, and I definitely don't like hearing like, oh, these almost look like the ones on eBay, but sometimes they get copied by so many manufacturers. You have to understand that in China or in Hong Kong, or the factories are just looking for another product to mass produce themselves for a cheaper price and then be able to sell it for the same price. So they themselves are their own worst enemies by basically getting their products from their customer, from their competitor, excuse me, copying it, trying to put the cheaper LEDs in there, cheaper build qualities, and then suddenly they start flooding the market with cheaper LEDs. The manufacturers that we use, we always like to use them because they're always one step ahead of the fakes. They're the ones being copied. They're not the ones making copies. So that's what we really like about them. And then the cutoff and everything, says it for itself. In a vehicle like this, without having to use, relays, without having to drill any holes in the caps for the H7 metal bulbs, these bulbs are absolutely stunning. I'll make a more of an in-depth view of what the bulbs look like, but for right now, I'm really happy with the way that they came out and are performing right now. We'll do an update a year from now. For this customer, they're actually a relative of ours, so we're actually going to be able to keep an eye on our products